Army VIP. We put it all in your
Hello, everyone,
hands.
and
Let's
welcome
go.
to another Army VIP podcast. It is August, early August, and of course, school's getting ready to start. So I know a lot of our student athletes and parents alike are excited about that. Coming off a busy summer, in all sports and all training and everything that goes into the summer months. You football players, lots of 7-on-7. You basketball players, lots of AAU, lots of different training stuff for colleges going on. Female wrestling, everybody's gearing up for another exciting year of female wrestling, which is the largest growing sport in NCAA's right now. So we're just excited to be able to be a part of the lives of so many student athletes across the United States. So today we want to talk to our parents a little bit about just athlete burnout. Our on me.vip site has a section for parents. So as you listen to this and you kind of digest what we're going to say today, maybe there's an opportunity that you'd like to go on the site and go to the parenting portion of our webpage. And we even invite you, you can use the free code in all caps, VIP, the number two week, VIP number 2 week, VIP 2 week, all caps, and take a look at us, browse a free browse just to see what we do have to offer. But as we look at the new school year starting, both high school and college, some high schools have already gone back. If not, everybody should be back within the next 2 weeks. Both college and high school. We just want to talk a little bit about burnout as everybody goes into this 26, 27 season. Your athlete's mental health comes before their stats. More than 30% of college student athletes report feeling overwhelmed by the demands of sport and academics. Parents who do emotional checks over performance reviews raise more resilient athletes, student athletes, athletes who are able to adjust and deal with situations a lot better than parents who are just concerned with, you know, performance because there's so much that happens before and after a game that determines before the game your current performance, after the game how you practice and how you prepare for the next game, the next event. We want parents to be more mindful when you talk to the kids, to talk to them about how do you feel, not just how did you play. um, a simple rule is that after competition, again, how'd you feel out there before you ask, how'd you play. Athletes who feel emotionally supported uh, show 40% lower burnout rates, and burnout rates are just getting incredible nowadays because there's really not a lot of time in between seasons anymore. There's not a lot of time to rest, which is so important. And there's no law against rest. Healing. When you rest, you get to heal. And sometimes, with student athletes, we just like to, we want everybody to be tough and to be able to participate at the highest level of performance. And that performance of creating that high level of performance comes from allowing your student athlete to rest, for their bodies to heal. A lot of these student athletes are at the peak of their growing, from 14 to 25-year olds. So their bodies need to rest in order to grow. The growth plates need rest in order to achieve their full potential for whatever size that student athlete is going to reach. It's important to rest, and that will help in turn without a lot of burnout. that we just see, athletes experiencing. Seven signs or a few signs of athletes heading towards burnout. Um, and 70% of our young athletes, sometimes before the age of 13, they quit. And parent pressure is the number one reason cited. Recognizing early burnout can save your child's athletic career, believe it or not. Um, the number one thing is if your kid just starts dreading going to practice, that's not good. Everyone should love practice. Practice should be a place where uh, a student athlete realizes that they are perfecting their skills, that they're learning and moving out through the playbook, that they are coming together as a unit, coming together as one, creating that positive energy, that synergy that every team needs to be successful. So practice is important, but when your kid or your significant person starts to want to miss practice, that's the number one sign that they're experiencing burnout. Um, Frequent injury complaints without a specific cause. Um, you know, that kid that always says, "Oh, my ankles hurt," or "I have a stomach ache." And these things do happen. Don't get me wrong. Being a former student athlete myself, I understand that some days you are really hurt, and I understand that. But continually, saying that I'm hurt um, is a significant sign of burnout, especially if they just start saying, I don't feel good. Complaints without a specific cause. Your student athlete could be burning out. So please be aware of that. Declining grades, which means that they're not able to pay attention in the classroom, especially if you have someone who's a decent student athlete, who's a decent student, and their grades start declining, that's a sign of burnout. It's just too much. It's too much. Social media pressure, communicating constantly with being recruited, social networks, after the game. Those kind of things will, help in the decline of a student athlete's ability to be focused. And you got to recognize that as a parent and be able to willing to sit down and have those conversations. um, Socially withdrawn from teammates, not wanting to go to team meetings, not wanting to participate in team social activities, um, is definitely a sign of burnout. Got to be able to engage and talk about that with your student athlete. Irritability at home or in the dorm after practice, or in the hotel after a bunch of weeks of AAU games, or both basketball, volleyball, and whatever AAU circuits. Um, that's a sign of burnout. It's a sign that your kid needs some rest, that your student athlete needs some rest. This is a huge one, requesting to miss games. Anytime you don't want to play in the game, then you know that that's a sign that that kid's burning out, that that student athlete is burning out. And you need to have a conversation. Saying, I just don't care anymore, that's like the number one burnout. That means that I don't feel like anybody's listening. I don't feel like anybody cares. All I think is people just want to see me play. Nobody could care less if I had a hamburger or if I had a box of chicken. Um, Gotta let the kids know that you care. Any of these, especially if they're simultaneous, or right after one another. Um, it just wants a direct, non-judgmental conversation, not a conversation where you talk, but a conversation where you listen and try and understand exactly where the student athlete is coming from. Listening is one of the skills that, you know, probably one of the greatest tools of communicating that people need to realize that we need to use is listening. Because that gives that person a chance to talk to us about what's really going on. So, this is just a sample of some of the things that we have over on www.orme.vip. feel free to go to the website again. The free code VIP 2 week, all caps. VIP 2 week, all caps. So let's remember, as we always say, let's get everything out of our game because our game is going to get everything out of us. So until next week, this is Fred Jones on Me VIP. You guys have a great week. Let's get ready to go back to our different educational institutions and be successful students first, athletes second. Parents, listen to your kids. Understand that they do experience burnout. They're only human. Don't push them too hard and make sure that they get plenty of rest. Until next
Let's
week,
go.
we'll see you then.
Started with a dream, now we changing the game. Every athlete got a shot, everybody know the name.
We got